Hey boys, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, boys. I'm gonna be real with you. I got really high, and I was like, let's film some fucking videos. So I have decided, as of this moment, as of literally like 5 seconds before I press the start recording button, 5 seconds before I press the start recording button, I'm like, I'm gonna use this high to make as many videos as I can. I'm gonna tell you a bunch of short stories, and I'm gonna rapid fire release a bunch of fucking videos to my channel, and it's all gonna be of the single high. So I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if my words are making sense to you. And I don't know if I am communicating good what is happening right now. But I am fucked up, and I've decided, boys, it's time to film a bunch of videos. And today's video, I've decided to tell you, is the first time I've gotten greened out. The first time I took a dab. Alright, boys? So, if you guys watched my, I accidentally ruined this guy's life video, where I accidentally ruined the homie's life. I get stranded in the middle of a fucking Huntington Beach, you know? I get stranded there for a hot minute. And, I'm calling everyone, and I don't know how to get home because I don't have a ride home, except for these one homies, this one couple, these two homies that are just randomly like, yeah, I got you, even though at the time I've only seen them once in my life. This is the only story with them that predates it. This is the same people. This couple, same couple as that last story. And this is the first time I've ever met them. This is a legendary story, boys. All right. So I was just sitting down at home, just doing jack all, you know? And then my homie hits me up. And then she's like, yo, I got a bunch of homies. You want to smoke? And I was like, of course I want to smoke, homie. I'm always down for a smoke. She's like, I bet. Come over right now to the park. And I'm like, I bet. So we go to the park, and it's me and this child homie, you know? Like, I think we were like 16 at the time. This homie was like 14, you know? So then we go to the park, and then I dab up the homies, and it's just me, the homie that called me, and the one other homie. And we're just like, this is great. We're having a great time. And then I was like, all right, you ready to smoke? And then she's like, yeah. Do you got it? And I was like, what? And she's like, you got the weed? And I was like, you called me up saying we're going to come to my place and smoke, and you expect me to bring the weed without you ever telling me to bring the weed? And she's like, yeah. I was like, no, I don't fucking have the weed. I expected there to be weed when we got here. And she was like, oh, do you know anyone that has any? And I was just like, I guess I could try. So then she's like, I bet we need some intoxication right now, boys. And I was like, you called me over here to smoke, and you don't have anything to, okay, buddy. Okay. So then we're calling everyone, we're doing our thing, you know, hitting up everyone, going through all of our contact lists on Instagram and Snap. And then we find no one. We find absolutely no one. It's devastating, boys. It's actually devastating. And the homies are calling up someone, and then like the one homie is like, yo, I got this one dude, and we're like, bring him over. And then she's like, yeah, but he like sexually assaulted me, and he's only gonna give us weed if we like do him those type of favors, you know? And me and the other homie were like, ooh. And the other homie was like, yeah, bring him over. We could do that. And I was like, what? No, we're not doing that for weed. I did not sign up for this, and I'm not gonna let my homies fucking go with this pervert 26-year-old man just so we could get fucked up. Nah. So then she's like, all right, but let's think about it, though. And I was like, what do you mean? And then the other homie's like, if at the end of the day we have no one, we'll call up that homie. I'm like, no, we're not calling up the homie that's sexual. What the fuck? We're not doing that right now. We're not calling up someone that sexually assaulted my buddy. And I'm not going to let that happen again. That's fucked up. No way, Jose. So then we're like looking for anyone else. And they're like, hey, we need to call up the homie. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Anyways, so that's just what's happening. And we're looking through the list of everyone. And then the homie's like, yo, I got this person. And I was like, bet. All right, do they have it? And they're like, I don't know. I just added them on Snap. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I went to Quick Add and added them. And I was like, oh, okay, buddy. And then I was like, so you've never met them? And they're like, nah, they seem dope. They seem trustworthy. And I was just like, oh, fuck. And, we were like, do we do it? And then they were like, well, they got weed. And I was like, oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So then we're trying our best to get everyone, but we run out of people. I've exhausted everyone in my contact list. No one has any weed, and all the homies have exhausted all of their people from their contact list, and we're like, well, we're fucked. So we're trying to call up people. I feel like I've repeated that sentence like 20 times by now. I feel like I'm going in a circle at the moment. God, I'm fucked up. This is a stupid video idea. This is a stupid video series idea. God fucking. Anyways, so then we call up the one person that we haven't met yet, that we know nothing of, and they added from quick ad on Snapchat, and we're like, yo, where you at? And they were like, we're pretty close by, we're over here. And we're like, alright, drop by, homie. Drop by. And they were like, bet. And then there was a while where we were just sitting at the park, just on the park playground, going like, are they really going to come over and do this? Are we like actually going to do this? And then we were like, I don't know. So we were sitting at the park, and they pull up, and they're like, sup, dude? And then we're like, what's up, homie? And then we meet these people, and they just pull out some joints, and we smoke together. And I was like, that's dope. That's dope, And then after a while, we're all smoking, just having a great time, laughing, just getting to know each other, doing the good old stuff. And the homie's like, I gotta leave, my mom's picking me up. And we're like, alright, see ya, homie. So we dab the homie up. And then now that the homie left, the homie we just met from Snapchat's like, yo, you wanna go to our house? And I was like, this stranger that's offering me drugs that I've never met before asked me to go to their house all by themselves to do drugs? Obviously, I'm gonna say yes. That's a fucking amazing idea. So then we go to her house, and she's a full-on witch. I don't mean that as like an insult. She's like actually practicing witchcraft and stuff, So we go in, and her house is a mess. It's just like a full-on crackhead house. I love it. It's dope. And then there's this gay dog. This dog that's literally, when I got introduced to the dog, they were like, watch out, this dog's gay. And I'm like, what? How is he gay? And then he starts like licking me and humping my leg, and I'm just like, oh, I see. And like, sometimes you would be petting the dog and you think you're having a good moment with the dog. You're like, yeah, I'm petting this dog and the dog seems happy. But then you like realize that your like leg's getting fucked, and this dog's just rubbing his junk all over your leg, and you're like, oh, this is less of a wholesome moment than I thought it would be, So that's how I got introduced to the dog, and we're chilling, and then we're like, the homie's like, "Hey, you want to do some dabs?" And I was like, hell yeah, I want to do some dabs. Boys, I have no idea what the fuck dabs are at this point. I've never seen a dab. I've never heard about a dab. I don't know what the fuck they are. But from my inference, I could tell they're some type of drug. So boys, we're doing them. So then she takes out this big bong, boy, this big glass piece. And then we're like, whoa, we're taking rips off some bongs. And she's like, no, this isn't some measly bong shit. This shit's gonna get you fucked up. And I was like, oh yes. And she's like, you ever dabbed before? And I went, yes. Complete lie. I've never dabbed in my life. I don't even know what dabbing is other than the 2016 trend where you tuck your head into your elbow. That's what I thought we were referring to. So I have no idea what the fuck's happening. So then she's like, you want to milk it? And I was like, milk the dab. And she's like, yes. And I go, nah, I'm good, homie. And then she's like, alright, I'll milk it for you. She's like, do you not know how to dab? And I was like, nah. And then she's like, I could teach you, but that's like a lot of work, I'm like, bet. So then she takes out the wax, If you don't know, there's like straight up wax that you heat up and then you smoke out of, And then she takes out the wax, and then puts it in the dab boy, puts in the glass piece, and then like she takes out an actual torch, like an actual flamey boy torch that you go and it goes, like not like that lighter where you go click and then it like lights up and you're like, yeah. She took out a fucking torch, and then like she put the wax in and then started heating it up and then starts like milking it and stuff and doing this like long process to get it ready for me. And I was like, oh, we're doing like hard drugs. I thought this was like hard. I thought we were doing like cocaine. I thought we were doing crack cocaine, because there, the similar setup where you get the blowtorch, blow underneath, and then blow the blowtorch underneath. Set it on fire, get it red hot, and then just go, and then go, and fucking explode. I thought we were doing crack cocaine. So I was like, oh, I guess this is how I do crack cocaine for the first time. I was just accepting fate, and then she's like, all right, your dab's ready. And then she's like, suck it as hard as you can. And I go, and I like suck as much as I can in, you know, not knowing how fucking strong dabs are. So I suck it all in, and then I lose a lung. I literally coughed for like 10 minutes straight. I was coughing nonstop for 10 minutes. Like, it hurt. It physically hurt me because I took all of the smoke of a dab, just inject it into my lungs, and then immediately regretted it and like vomited out like everything, you know? Just spiritually vomiting this dab out. Just like, I was coughing so much that my friends were like genuinely concerned because I was coughing, and they're like, all right, he's just coughing from the weed. And then like 10 minutes later, I was still coughing. They're like, are you good? Are you good, bro? So then I was like, yeah. And she's like, do you want another one? And I went, I'm already stoned out of my mind at this point. I'm non-functional. I could barely move, and I went, yes, I would love another one. So then I take another one. I start coughing for 10 minutes again. Because I take a fat hit. I suck it all up into my lungs and then cry. I'm literally crying as I fucking cough up a lung. And then I'm like, fuck. And I become immobile at this point. I become immobile. I'm sitting on their chair, just watching Heartstopper with them. Nothing going through my brain. We weren't watching Heartstopper. What were we watching? I don't know. I think we were watching like The Office or Parks and Recs or something. But I was completely immobile at this point. And then like 20 minutes goes by and I hear a little voice. I wasn't even paying attention. I know they were conversating, but their voice was so much in the distance that I could not even hear them, even though they were right next to me. And I hear a little voice in the distance going from the void. A voice coming from the void. I'm just out of my mind, blasted, just over here in this chair going, fuck, you know? And I hear a voice going, do you want to take another hit? And I was like, do I want to take another hit? I've already taken 2 hits, and I've been high since the first hit. I took the first hit. I almost fucking died. Because I got that high. I've been coughing up a lung for 20 minutes straight now. And you're asking me, do I not only want to take a second hit, but a third hit too? Yes, I would love to take a third hit, so I take a fucking third hit. I start coughing up a lung. I'm dying. And it was this point that I become immobile. I could look at the TV, and that is it. I'm just in the chair going like this. Like, legit, the whole time, I was just in the chair going like... I was seeing colors. I had superpowers. I was legit convinced that I can control warmth, like the essence of warmth. Like, I would get this red, like in my imagination, there would be this red like aura pulsating from my leg, and that was my superpowers of my controlling warmth. And the aura would crawl up my leg, making my leg warm as it crawls up it, and I would just have this red and orange pulsating feeling from my leg of just pure warmth. And I was convinced I was like controlling it. I was moving it up and down my body, and there was warmth in my socks, and I was just and I people were talking in the distance, but I could not hear what they were saying. They were talking. I could not comprehend a single thing. Hey, you gotta take a hit to that. Gotta take a hit out of the respect of the art of the dab. They were talking, no idea what was happening. I was watching the show. I did not hear a thing the show said. There was no words going into my brain at this point. I saw the show. I saw the pretty colors. I saw the characters. I saw Rob Lowe. And I was like, this is nice. This is nice. There was no audio input coming from me other than like my 2000s fucking punk rock that was playing in my head going, yeah, you know, I was going crazy, you know, fucking the What's New Scooby-Doo theme song was just blasting. I was having a lovely time. And then eventually the homie was like, aight, that's it, I gotta go. So then we're like, aight, we gotta go home. So then they dropped me off at my house. And I'm like, I'm so fucking tired. So I go to my bed, I take a nap, I wake up at like 2 a.m. I get home at like 12, I go to bed, I wake up at 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. and I'm like in bed, and I have this sinking feeling in my throat, like this feeling like when I took a hit of the dab, like some of the dab stayed there the whole night. So the entire night from like 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. I felt like the dab was stuck in my throat, you know? You take a dab and some of it gets stuck in your throat. That's the feeling. And I felt like I was gonna like throw up, you know? But I was so high, I didn't understand what throwing up was. So I was like, why is my throat so uncomfortable? And like, instead of like, you know, doing normal caution procedures to prevent throwing up. I was just eating. I had peanut butter pretzels, and I was just eating a ton of it with this feeling in my throat getting larger and larger, and I didn't understand what was happening. And I was just eating more pretzels, and then out of nowhere I go and I go, oh, I understand now. I need to get to the bathroom. So I get up and I sprint to the bathroom. And I'm sorry, but this is going to get a little bit graphic, boys. This is going to get very, very graphic. So I head to the bathroom, and I'm like, this is not a good feeling. I go to the toilet. I like lift up the toilet seat, and as soon as the toilet seat gets lifted up, projectile. There was so much force, boys. Like, you see a fire hydrant. You see how much force a fire hydrant has? That fire hydrant had nothing on the projectile vomit I spit out. It literally like almost broke the toilet because it was so forceful. Like it felt. Oh, I'm sorry to be so fucking graphic, but that's what happens when you do drugs, homies. This is gonna happen to you at one point. But I'm sorry, but like. It was so forceful, and it filled up like the whole toilet with my vomit. It was fucking disgusting. It was so forceful, like it would like spray onto the toilet and bounce back in my eyes, and I was like, ah, this is painful. I was vomiting while crying at the same time. It was horrible. I was literally tearing up in the toilet, just crying. And then like after like flushing the toilet and just like rinsing water down my mouth, I'm like, time to go back to bed. That was fun, I guess. Just having a horrible time, you know. And I'm walking back to bed. I'm in the hallway. I close the bathroom door, and I'm in the hallway. I check my phone. I'm looking at my phone. I'm about to get into my bedroom. You know, my bedroom's like 2 feet away from me. I'm about to get up there, and I see the shadowy figure in the distance, and I go, huh? And then I look up from my phone, and I see my mother. And I go, holy fucking shit, because she's just standing there. She's standing in the dark, menacingly, in the hallway, just. And she's like 5'2", and I'm 6'2", right? So this is just, I'm over here, and I look at this tiny figure, and I go, what the fuck? There's a shadow person, you know? And it's just my mother. She's standing there going like, hello there. And I go, yo, what's up, mom? And she goes, are you doing hard drugs? You could tell me right now. Are you doing hard drugs? And I go, nah, I ate some like chicken nuggets. I don't think they were like cooked properly, so I got food poisoning and shit. And she goes, I don't believe you. I think you're doing hard drugs. And I go, no, it was my food poisoning because I ate dino nuggies and they weren't cooked, so I got food poisoning. And she goes, okay, I think you're doing hard drugs. And then she just walks away, and I go, what the fuck's happening? What the fuck's happening? And I go into bed. I immediately fall asleep and forget about all of that. But anyways, this story is getting pretty long. That's basically the first time I got greened out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, boys. And for every new subscriber, I'm going to take a fat hit in honor of you guys joining the channel. Oh, shit, that was a lot. Okay. But yeah, for every subscriber, I'm going to take a fat hit for you guys joining the channel. And I appreciate you being here, homies. That was a really big hit, actually. I'll see you next time. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'll see you next time. Bye.